Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Yeah, welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. Welcome back if you are rejoining us. My name is Marissa Price. I am a social worker, healer, and business educator dedicated to creating safe spaces on the internet for Black women to heal. And I'm so excited to be here with my lovely guest today, Dani, aka Tea Time Beauty. But I will pass it over to herself to introduce herself and tell us about her channel.
Yes, hello everyone. I am honored to be here on the Marissa Price show. I'm
Oh,
honored to
Dani.
be here. I'm usually in the chat like,
Yes.
I love everyone so much. I love this. So I'm happy to be showing my face here on the screen with you. I
Yeah.
am honored also for Beauty to just be shared because that is a community I'm
Yes.
building for women who just want a safe space and know that the community that they are looking for is out there somewhere for them. So this is my offering of building a safe community because there have been so many women, you Marissa included, that have shown me the ways, been a guide
Oh,
for me on, you know what, even as I'm still searching for myself and my own community, I'm willing to
mhm.
show up and set up community as well, both.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. I love that. And we don't have to be like arrived at this destination. I feel like that's the message
mm-mm,
we're taught. You have to
mhm.
be healed or at this perfect place. It's like, no, people actually need to see you along the journey, right? So that it's relatable at every step of the way. So I love that. Yes. And I linked her
Yes.
channel in the chat. So y'all please subscribe to her channel, Tea Time Beauty.
Yay.
Yay. I'm excited. And hello, everyone who's joining. But yeah, I would love to ask you. You're a social worker as well. So if you could just share a little bit about your social work background and
Mhm.
how that informs the work that you're doing now with the channel and also as an entrepreneur.
Yes. So, my background in social work is I have a bachelor's and a master's in social work. I achieved both of those degrees and graduated in the era of pandemic. And so,
Me too.
my master's was completely online. Yeah, so you get it.
Oh,
And
yes.
that is just the epitome of setting intentions. Anyone who was able to set a goal before that era and then go on and see themselves through, no matter how it ended up looking, setting intentions, if you already knew about how to do that, I know we all have testimonies about seeing ourselves through
Yes.
during that time. Yes, yes.
Yes.
And it takes a village. A lot of
It
my
does.
graduating wouldn't have even um, been if it wasn't for the people around me. So
Mhm.
I can continue to believe in myself and see myself as I was going through the changes and the world was as well. So my master's in social work, I specialized in child welfare and I worked in a adoptions unit. So I was able to experience the child welfare side as far as learning about the system, and then I got to learn about adoptions. And I moved on after I graduated into the therapy world. And so I got to work as a children's therapist. And in that position, it was a nonprofit, and I was the first and only Black woman to be in that role, in that position, in that company, and they had been around since the 80s.
Oh,
And so
wow.
that was a very big deal for me.
Yeah. I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah.
Yes.
And
So
I would love to hear. You don't have to share if you're not comfortable, but like, what was that experience like? Because I also experienced that coming out of graduate school. I was put into a position, the first Black woman in this position. It did not go well for me. I'll just say that in the institution I was in, um, kind of hitting brick walls at every point, trying to share the knowledge that I had, share my lived experience.
yep.
It was not taken well.
Mhm.
But I would love to hear if you would like to share, no pressure at all, just what that
Yes.
experience was like for you.
Yes. First, want to start off with I see you. My experience it went pretty similar to how it sounds like yours went, just hitting brick walls. And I would say they are the builders of the brick wall. And they
Yes.
brought us in and they're like, we just need help just with your skill, and they bring it off, and they have like, okay, I'm doing some imagery here. They put a
Yes.
wallpaper over the brick wall, and
Dani.
there's no brick
Yes.
wall behind here. This is, and let's say the wallpaper is like a beautiful scenery. It's like, and
Uh-huh.
don't you want to come over here? And there's a perfect place just for you. We set it up. We want someone just like you, right?
Yes.
Reeling you in,
Hmm.
right? And it's like, well, I know my worth. I never needed you to give me my worth.
Right.
So
Hmm.
when they start doing the limiting you and
Yes.
gaslighting you and a lot of the other
Hmm.
things you've beautifully spoken about and narrated through your storytelling on your channel, and so many other guests you've had have spoken about that experience of really waking up. And it's not as if
Yeah.
you went into the job asleep. It's more that they blocked that brick wall. And over time, you started kind of, that doesn't, this isn't real. This wallpaper, you started yanking on the wallpaper a little bit. You started seeing the bricks, and they tried to cover it up. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't look over there. Oh no, let's try to cover this back up.
Yes.
Is this making
Yes.
sense? This is just what that
A
experience
hundred
kind of.
percent. 100%. Yes. They did put wallpaper over the wall because for so long I was like, why didn't I know there was a brick wall there? Like this institution, right? The name of it, like why wasn't I aware of it? But like you said, the wallpaper looked pretty, right? They
Yep.
sold us this, especially being in the social work program I was in. It's like they
Mm-hmm.
pushed us towards, at least in my program, towards like corporate social work, which is a
Yes.
new arm of social work that has kind of opened up.
Mm-hmm.
But as a Black woman, me entering into a corporate space trying to work on racial equity issues, it's not going to go well, right? But they pushed us, right? There was pressure. And like you said, the gaslighting, once you got in there and started to realize what it was really like, it's like
Yes.
that's a whole other thing to just sit with the truth. Like, no, they lied. They lied.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And even the amount of awareness and grace, and even like speaking to someone who is older and can normalize the experience of, yes, this wasn't on you. You didn't cause this on yourself. And this has been going on for so long. And it doesn't even just go on in this specific way, in this avenue. It goes on for people who look like us. And no matter the industry, no matter the what,
Mm-hmm.
you're a woman, you're
Yep.
educated, they never
Mm-hmm.
wanted you there.
That
You were
part.
always going to show out. That's why they wanted you in the first place. They didn't want to ever admit to you, hey, after a certain point, I might get insecure, so I might start
Mm-hmm.
shutting you down. They're not going to tell you that. Of
Nope.
course.
That part, yeah. And I think it was an interview on Dr. Kamani's channel, Lifting as We Climb Consulting. It's her YouTube
Yes.
channel. But it was Melanie Gowdy who did an interview on her channel.
Mm-hmm.
She's also a social worker, and she
Yes.
said like I have to prepare myself going into these roles that the system is eventually going to push me out, right? Because I speak too loudly, I advocate too strongly for these issues that I see. So the
Yes.
system is eventually going to push me out. So if I go in having that understanding, it's like you're empowered with that and you don't
Mm-hmm.
internalize that as something is wrong with me. It's just a system. The system is
Yes.
created to push you out if you stand up against it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And they want to use us as machines, and we're
Yeah.
not standing for that.
No,
No, we have
not at
enough
all.
community around us now that are saying we're not going to be treated like that and sharing their stories. So our body literally is rejecting that. We don't
Mm.
tolerate that anymore. Like my tolerance level, maybe like
Yeah.
a few years ago when I didn't know about what this experience was going to be about, or maybe I didn't have these impacts that have shaped how I'm viewing these interactions. Maybe when I
Yes.
didn't know in my body what it's like to be told a lie or to be told something and then experience down the line the exact opposite of what I was told. My body remembers those things,
Mm.
right? And so when they
Yes.
want to start using me as a machine, my body doesn't remember how to do that anymore. So if I set
Mm.
myself up with the mindset, and where this is where we get into the setting intentions, if I set
Right.
myself up with the mindset of I am going to trust myself,
Mm-hmm.
That's where the faith comes in and how that's going to end up showing up in the details. But if I tell myself and I set myself, I'm up, I'm going to trust myself. Then when I go into that room and there's some conversations that are being had, or there's an energy in the room, or maybe even just I'm picking up something and I have no clue where it's coming from, but I am that much more able to dissect and hear and receive the messages clearly from my body and what the next step needs to do because I set that intention. Versus if I just went in the room, I'm just
Right.
going to go in the room and see what happens.
Exactly. Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah, because we're taught so often to be disconnected from our bodies. But like you said, tapping back into how is this feeling? Because the body
Yeah.
remembers, right? The body
Mm-hmm.
remembers. It's like if you're
Mm-hmm.
in a similar situation, it's going to have that similar physical response of tapping back into that. Like, no, that was disrespect. That was anti-Blackness. I'm not making it up. That's very clear.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And that's where the compassion is helpful too, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's all an opportunity to learn more about ourselves. If we have the
Yeah.
intention of this is going to teach me something, that also can, be that resilience that we really need in that moment to not be taken outside of ourselves or just have other people treat us like those machines they want to treat us
Mm-hmm.
as. Like, just let me just tell you what to do. Let me program into you what I want you to do and just do it exactly
Yes.
how I told you. And even if it didn't make sense, what I
Mm-hmm.
programmed into you, just
Yeah.
do what I want you to do
Do it
anyway. We're
anyway.
like, no, we're not doing that anymore.
We're
No,
not. No. No more. No more. That's
no
so
more.
true. They really do. They really want to program us. That is so true. And just like see us operate like robots all the time, right? Not push back, not question things. And as sensitive people, right, we can pick up on stuff that people don't say. It's like you said, the energy. If the energy is off, I can feel that
Yes,
when I'm in the room and I got to say something. That's just my
yes,
nature. So, yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
That's the superpower.
Yay! It is
Yay.
sensitivity, superpower. It really is. It
Yes.
really
Shout out to
is.
Alicia.
Yes, yes, Alicia. And Alicia is like how we met, right? In the garden,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
Bernice's community for Black creative women, kind of tapping back into our gifts, healing just in safe community. So, yeah, that was amazing. I had the chance to meet all lovely women in Dani as well. And just, yeah, that experience has been life changing, just being in that community. Yeah.
Can you believe that was the beginning of this year?
No, a year and my life has like
Oh,
changed. Seriously, the power of that community is out of this
yes.
world. Just having that safe space to rely on, that people are going to support what you're doing,
Hmm.
encourage you, like that does not exist a lot
No.
in this world, unfortunately. So yeah.
No. And virtually to create that sense of safety virtually, like
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I did put the wait list to the next season of The Garden in the chat. If y'all want to add your names to it, because it is amazing. But yeah, I did want to ask
Mhm.
intentions, going to the theme of this chat. So, what
Yes.
does it mean to you to set intentions for a transformative 2024? I would love to know.
Yeah. So for my 2024, I will say I personally am going into this year with the mindset of every day, every breath is an opportunity to start again and to begin again and to continue. And it can be a new year every day I wake up. Every day I wake up can be another opportunity to do the New Year resolutions that we really like look forward to in the winter months. And so, as I've been learning, there are many others who really intend on resting and hibernating and reflecting around the colder months. If you live in a place where it's colder in the winter months, if not, maybe this time is a time to slow down and take stock of a lot of different things that you've either been through and where you want to see yourself go. So let's see. When I think about my experience with setting intentions with social work specifically, it always was around deadlines, very
Oh,
specific
yes.
goals. And when we
Mm-hmm.
think about goals, we think about the tangible things we can see. We
Mm-hmm.
think about very specific steps. It's measurable and what is achievable. With an intention, it's like, yeah, that more of that mindset. And so I really want to focus on keeping a steady mindset because there has been some shame or doubt or even guilt in how things end up playing out. If there's any sadness or even some trauma that has showed itself, and
Right.
that sometimes feels like a step backwards, or sometimes it feels like a disservice to myself because it doesn't feel like step forwards, big step forwards, like how goals feel like you're going up. And with intentions, I feel there's room for compassion because no matter how um, situations may look, for example, the pandemic, we didn't know that we were going to end or even begin our master's program the way that it did. Yet,
No.
what allowed us to get to that end point, anyways? There was something in us that we kept true to ourselves and reminded ourselves. And then with the grace of God or whatever what you believe in, that we were supported and we saw it, we were seen through. um
Mm.
and so
Yeah.
that's what I want for myself for this new year. How do I want to see myself through, no matter what it ends up looking like along the way? How do I want to carry myself, and how do I want to, and that will reflect in how I treat my environment, how I am resilient through setbacks or obstacles. So those are some things. That was kind of a lot. I have so many
No,
ideas,
not at
but
all. Not at all. Thank you. Yes. How do I want to see myself through? That
mhm,
question. Oh my gosh. That's powerful because I'm kind of in the mode of thinking through my intentions for 2024. And so that's really helpful for me. And like you said, intention can be different from a goal. Intention is different than a goal because a goal is
yes,
like, what do I want to achieve?
yes.
Intention is like, how do I want to feel? It's more
Hmm.
of like the stuff that you can't really measure, but you feel it. Your body knows,
Yes. Hmm.
right? I love that. I love
Hmm.
that.
Hmm. That's a great
Uh,
distinction too. Sometimes we can get them a little bit mixed, but checking in on our expectations. Goals are going to have be more expectation heavy. Intention, be
mhm.
compassionate, go with the flow, and hold yourself accountable. And yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yes. So I wanted to ask if you have any practices that you do to
Hmm.
prepare for the new year that you would like to share as we're starting to
Yeah.
plan for 2024 already somehow.
Yeah, this year, I every year it's always like this year has gone by so fast. We are all saying that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when we think about practices, daily practices, weekly practices, those are the moments that show us um, how present have I been?
Mhm.
How much
Mhm.
space do I give myself to observe what I'm experiencing in my life? How I'm intaking all of these stimuli? How have I been developing lately? You know how when we're all younger and or some people they like on next to a door frame, oh how tall are you now? And then over a few years,
Yes.
oh how tall are you? How tall? And then over time we stop measuring.
Yes.
Oh,
Lavendula. Yes. Another
Lavendula,
participant
yay!
in the garden, which is Alicia Renice's community. Yes. Yes. Lavendula.
Yes. Welcome, welcome. So, let's see. Okay, so practices.
Yeah.
So, so we want to be able to be in touch with our development and our growth and even our experiences throughout the year. It doesn't have to only be when there's a huge milestone or when there's something that you like mandatory have to have like paperwork wise. Like some people are say like around taxes season, I know I'm gonna need all of these pieces of information. So
Mm-hmm.
I know when those pieces of information are going to come in. So I can make sure that I'm looking out for it in the mail, like your W-2s, like those come at a certain time of the year. So people are looking
Yes.
out for it, and then they're storing it in a certain place. So then when it's about the time for taxes, they have all their documents prepared and they're ready to go about their process. Are we doing that with our own um, full selves? So
Mm-hmm.
a holistic framework I've been looking into, the 8 dimensions of wellness, that
Oh
has
yeah.
I love that it because
I
it shows me in college there was something that I would always tell some of my closer professors that I would touch base with. There's something that is missing. Like I feel my grades are okay, but there's this, or this is okay, but this. And I was always like aware of that, those differences in college, but I never um, came to the point where I was just fully accepting of everything isn't always going to be working out all the time. Or even if for a certain period things are going to feel like they're really working out for me. And then at other points, they could feel like what it's only a small piece of my life that's not working out, but it feels like I can't enjoy the other pieces because I keep focusing on this smaller piece. The 8 dimensions of wellness helps me understand, well, everyone has these pieces of themselves that they're constantly juggling. And
mm-hmm.
so just focus on one. If you want to see some improvement, focus on one, or maybe just have a equal balance of all of these dimensions. And you're just focusing on some of them for various amounts of time and in various phases that you've noticed that some might need more attention than others. So and it's an evidence-based practice. So social
Oh
work is
yeah.
where
Hashtag social work. Yes.
but yeah, so for my 2024 physical wellness, um, environmental wellness, I've been getting in nature. I have been walking. I have been singing. I have been dancing. I have been doing yoga, and I'm recording myself more. So that's where teatime.beauty comes in, because it's evidence that look at me taking care of myself and look at me contributing to my community. So then there's that social wellness. So that is a way that I plan for 2024 to keep tabs on how I'm taking care of myself and keep tabs on my development. Because in the this past year, I've had 3 different jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and all of them ended in ways that made me feel like I need to grieve this. I need to grieve this
Mm-hmm.
because I don't feel that all of the effort I put into being able to do the duties in this role, I was able to see through. But I'm still worthy, and these ideas are still worthy. So I need to find the environment and the place to share them with. And that's okay. That was a lesson.
Yeah.
So I want to hold on to that instead of continue on holding on to that sadness and grief. I will continue to process it as it comes up whenever I remember those experiences. And also I
Mm-hmm.
want to take my power back. So the 8 dimensions of wellness is one of those ways that this is a daily practice I can have, a weekly practice I can have. How am I going to check in on myself? How many areas have I been tapping into myself? What areas have been neglected?
That's key. That's key. And yeah, I think I was introduced to the 8 dimensions of wellness by Alicia in her Patreon community, which is so funny.
Yeah,
But
she's
yeah,
always.
yes, yes. In seeing that you don't have to have everything together at the same time, and don't expect every area of your life to be like tied down at every time. Like that kind of frees
Mhm.
you to be
Yes.
like, this is the problem that I'm experiencing in this area. Although it feels like my entire life, you can kind of hone in on, okay, it's just this slice of the pie that I'm dealing with. The rest are good. So I can
Yeah.
celebrate that, and not hyper focus on the part that's going wrong or that's causing trouble. I love that.
Yes. And even as women, where do I need some support? Like, where
Yes.
have I been doing this
Woo.
all by myself? And I just need some help.
Dani, yes. Oh, that's all too real. That's all too real. Yes.
Yes.
Where do I need support? Yes.
Hmm.
Totally.
Yes.
I didn't want to read this comment by the educator. They said, it's like that in the school system too. My first day of work, the secretary told me where the cafeteria was because they didn't have any Black teachers. And I had on a business, had a briefcase in 97. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Being the first, ooh, being the first in a role, in a position, in an institution, that is a whole thing. That is a whole thing. And especially when you don't have the support, or they tell you that you're going to have the support, and then it like falls through once you open your mouth and give it an opinion, because they just wanted you to be like, just sit there and don't say anything so that we can use you for like marketing materials. It felt like. So yeah, that's real. That's real.
Yes.
Especially in social work, right? The anti-Blackness in social work is real, but that's a whole other other video.
And that anti-Blackness shows up in ways where it's with a smile and tell me what you need if you ever need support. And you're thinking, okay, well, let me go be a excellent overachieving scholar that I am and go figure out myself how I need support. And then I'll go ahead and tell you how to support me. It seems like I already supported myself at that point, but I'll go ahead and go along. No, we're not doing that anymore.
No, going into 2024.
No.
That's too much energy that we could be using, right? For ourselves, for our families, for our intentions, for our goals, things that we want to achieve, right? That's way too much energy to spend. Yes, we're not doing that. Not in 2024. Yes.
No, pat your own self on the back. You have everything you need now. You are all the encouragement you need, and the people who have the right words for you are there waiting to give them to you. So if someone is not truly offering you support, but their words are saying, if you ever need support, ask me, and their actions have not shown you that they are willing to either take the time to learn the type of support you need, or take the time to learn what connections or resources they have that they can connect you with to support you, right? Or even just sit down with you and be vulnerable enough to say, I have no clue how to even engage with this right now. I've heard you and you've shared with me. And so now what I'm going to give you back is honesty. I don't know, but I'm willing to work on it with you. Those are 3 great options. And in my last job, I gave those 3 options and they denied all of them. And I started off with, I also need a pay raise, because all of this is outside of my pay raise, my pay. And, and once you start hearing excuses, that's when you really, really start picking and choosing your battles, if this is one of your first times learning about these types of systems.
Absolutely. Thank you. That was so relatable. Oh my gosh. The extra work, and especially in social work, right? They kind of take advantage of our caring, sensitive nature about these issues. And a lot of these institutions, it's like, okay, we'll take on this work since you're passionate about it. It's like, hold on, you're not paying me for that, right? And we have the power to say, no, you're not paying me for that, and add this onto my role, add this onto my job description, and raise my salary, because we're not doing that in 2024.
3. Yes.
No. Yes.
And I had a coworker who was always reminding me, that's an amazing idea, and it sounds like keep that for your passion project, because this organization, they're not worth all of this energy and beautiful effort you obviously put into this project, because she was witnessing and going through herself a lot of those things. So if there's anyone that you honestly are able to be open with, and they're going through that same thing as well, that helped me a lot. So I just want to offer gratitude towards anyone who's helped me, and anyone who in this chat might have experienced something in a workplace, but they had someone who saw them through that and offered space to say, yeah, your reality is valid. So those people are just angels in the skies.
Yes. Yeah, I had a similar experience before I started in the job I was in. Someone told me that. They kind of prepped me for it, like, don't share all your gems with this institution. You got to build something for yourself on the side, And unfortunately, I didn't really heed that advice, right? And I think that was due to like immaturity on my part and just like kind of being wrapped up in the whole wanting to get a job after graduation. So I was like, I'm focused on this.
Of course.
But as I was going through that, her advice that she shared kind of settled back in with me. I'm like, okay, that's what she was talking about. I can't share all my goodies with this institution because they're going to take advantage of it, right? They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Yes.
I just thought about, how the elders in our community will say, like, well, I told you that, but you needed somebody else to go tell you that for you to realize it's true.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Or the wise ones in our
Absolutely.
communities. Yeah, it's true. I
Yes.
did need to be told a couple times. Yes, I did need to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. That is true. That is true. But yes, we touched on this a little bit. But I guess I just want to ask again, how does setting intentions differ from setting goals, which we see as we're heading into a new year? All of this talk around set your goals for 2024. Um, I guess like intentions, like I said, like how you want to feel versus what you want to accomplish. If you have any thoughts around the differences between those that you'd like to share.
Yeah, I do. So I would say that setting intentions really is a starting point, right? So since it's a mindset, it's really like a foundation that you're setting for yourself, a strong foundation, right? To see yourself through. So think of it as like a road you're paving for yourself. And all of the goals and steps, that's for you to be able to walk on that smooth road. So if there's any potholes, you can always go back to your intentions, either remind yourself. For me, I like journaling. I like affirmations. I like listening to songs that really resonate with me, with the experience I'm going through. I really love connecting with friends and family members that really resonate with me and take this time and space to listen to me. And even channels like yours, and a lot of the times it's communities that I just happen to find that I get to watch and replay and even connect
Yes.
with other community members in the chat, or even just read through the comment sections, or read articles. You just started your Substack. I read your articles last
Oh
night.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, just things like that all help. So all of those help to shape and form and strengthen and reinforce those intentions. So
Mm,
that intentions would be the starting point. That's the road you're paving down. And so your goals are going to be more specific. They take a lot more effort and determination, right? Affirmations, you can write them down, you can repeat them to yourselves, but it's not really a tangible effort. Like you said, it's more of how you feel. Um,
yeah.
but you can create a goal and
Hmm.
feel a type of way. Like
Yeah.
an example, right, of doing the dishes when you're a kid, and and you're going to
Oh
do the
yes.
dishes yourself. You're like, I intend to, be a good uh, a daughter, son,
Hmm.
whatever, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and clean before anybody asks me to clean. And you
Yeah.
say, and then your goal is to clean before anyone tells you to clean. That's your goal. You go down the
Hmm.
stairs, whatever, you're in the kitchen. Hey, there's dishes in there. Go do the dishes, a parent. And then all of a sudden, your mood, you notice, now I don't want to do the dishes anymore. There's something in me,
Yeah.
something changed.
Hmm.
Remember your intention. Your intention was to, maybe you wanted to do a surprise. It was supposed to be a surprise. You wanted to have the reward of doing something and then someone telling you, wow, look at, you wanted that praise of doing something on your own. There was some sort of independence, right? So
Right.
understand what that intention was. Sometimes you can go backwards. And when
Ooh.
your goal does, that determination we have when we first make the goal, when that wanes, when procrastination comes in, when decision fatigue comes in, when life happens, what keeps us with that goal, right?
Hmm.
It's not always how we feel,
Right.
because how we feel might deter us from keeping true to
That's
that
true.
goal, right? So if I wrote down my intentions, if I wrote down some affirmations, or if I even repeat some affirmations that I remember that will connect me back to that goal, that will be so helpful. What practices have I been doing that have been proof, evidence to myself that I am willing to show up for myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can say
Mm-hmm.
all of these things. I could literally say all these things, but this year, 2023, every job that I got in the beginning, I was like, yes, I'm so excited. I'm literally dancing around my apartment. Like, I got a job. I got a job.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the job, I'm like, oh, like I
Yeah.
quit or I left and it didn't work out. Or what about all these ideas and all the effort? And it's like, okay, what did you do? What did you grow in? How did you show up for yourself? And this is where my therapy came in this year as well. My therapist
Mm-hmm.
said, you have spoken up more for yourself than you ever have. Every single job you had, you spoke up for yourself and you documented everything.
Oh.
You took the advice that you
Mm-hmm.
have been learning from me, my therapist, and the internet, and just the professional resources that are out there about when you are experiencing toxicity in a job, you have rights. Know your rights. How do you hold others accountable? You document, you do certain things. So the goal was to stand up for myself. My
Mm-hmm.
intention was to stay true to myself this year. I had other people holding me accountable to that, reminding me. But when the goal changed, the goal was no longer, I got a job, now keep that job. It was
Right.
protect yourself.
Ooh.
And that's okay because
Yeah.
my intention was still the same. I was still staying true to myself. They looked different, but at the end of the day, I could look back on this year, 2023, and say, I am so proud of myself, even though I don't have a job that I was in all year, because that's the thing that everyone's wanting. I stayed in a
That's
job for a
true.
full year. I was able to stay here for this amount of time. That's the
Mm-hmm.
success. That's the reward. I was able to stay
True.
here this long. Or is the reward that you grew? Like, what is your intention? What are you looking to get out of this? That's where intentions are. So when we think about that road, some people, if there's a pothole, they'll drive over it, drive over it, drive over it, drive over it.
Mm-hmm.
When are we going to address that pothole? What change needs to occur?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are okay driving around. For generations, people might drive around that pothole and even teach
Oh.
other people, when you see a pothole, I'm never going to tell you and inform you that that could be fixed. I'm just going to
Yeah.
teach you how to drive around it really well and
Right.
how to even spot a pothole from way down the line. But I'm never going to tell you how to address it or even that there's tools and solutions to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Ooh. You said so much,
Woo!
Dani. Thank
I just be
you.
talking, girl.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's like, that kind of reminded me of like generational trauma, right? Going over the same pothole, it's like we're taught to just avoid it versus like tackling it directly on. And I've been like researching about generational trauma too lately and just how it's
Hmm.
passed on, between generations. And we're
Yeah.
just, it lives in our DNA too, right? Like with epigenetics. So yeah, that's a whole other topic. But yeah,
Yes.
that reminded me of that. And something else
Yes.
you said, sometimes you go backwards. And that's something to prepare for, right? You're not always going to be moving forward. Sometimes you do have to go backwards to go even further forward
Hmm.
as you go on.
Yes.
That's key. That's key.
Yes. That reminds me of Sankofa.
Yes.
Mm.
Wow. Yes. I have not heard that term in a while. That was so I was a Black Studies major in college. But yeah, that was our graduation ceremony name, Sankofa. It's like, yeah.
Oh, that's you, Marissa. That's
Yeah.
literally.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, that's
Um,
beautiful.
yes, yes. But yeah, I did want to ask you, let me get back to my reflecting
Such
on
a
the
great
past.
conversation. Yes.
Yes, yes. Reflecting on the past and what role does that play in setting intentions for the future? And I'll
Mhm.
just share I'm in Glamazzini's, her planning retreat for 2024.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, like I'm struggling with at the moment, one of our assignments is going back over our notes that we had this year. And for some reason, I always have a block. Like I don't want to go back and read what I wrote. So that's something I'm working through. So if you had any tips on
Yes.
what role the past plays in setting intentions for the future as you go forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I wrote down some notes last night. I was Oh, the educator. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
And I'll read it. Dani is a powerful speaker at such a young age. Agreed. Agreed.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Oh, that means a lot. That means a lot. I literally have been pondering like I want my message to be relevant. Like I want to intentionally deliver a message about setting intentions. So that's awesome that what I'm saying is resonating. I am
It
honored. Yes.
is. It is.
Yay.
Yeah, and I'll just read this one too. Danny, you are so smart. You are mini me. Always document. And I never did anything that wasn't in my contract, and I'm not a team player with them. Ooh, gems. Gems. Always document. Always document. In my interview with Jackie Abram that I did on the whole process for how you document, that was so helpful for me going forward. I wish I had had that information going into the job, which is why I'm trying to share the information now with people who are experiencing that.
Yeah.
But going forward, knowing that, like you said, you do have power. You do have power in this situation. You're not powerless. Although they try to make us feel like it, you can document and you can build a case and you can walk away as the victor. So, yeah.
Yes. I actually
Yeah.
was able to get a severance pay. And my
Danny!
therapist said I've never had a client actually get a severance pay.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
did. And the whole
incredible.
time I was like, am I gonna have to sue? And I don't have money for a lawyer. Like I was just telling myself these things, but I was like, I'm gonna document anyway. Like I'm just gonna write everything anyway. And since we're on the topic of documenting,
Yeah.
give yourself so much grace because you're reliving what you went through in detail in order to write it down. And um, our brain retains more information by writing. So
Right.
while that and that's scientifically proven. So while when we want to write notes, like I have my little notebook of what I wanted to say today, I wrote the
Yeah.
notes down. That's the positive part. And so in documentation, just be aware that that is huge vulnerability to not only
Mm,
speak up for yourself, but to
right.
write things down, knowing that at some point, if I need to take this further, other people will read this. And having to make it into legal jargon, like
Ooh.
take the emotion out of the documentation is the most difficult thing about documentation. Because all of this was
Mm-hmm.
emotional for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that helps me too. Kind of think about why I may be having that block. It's like, because I have to go back and relive these very painful things that happened to me over the years. So that's why I'm like hesitant to do it. Okay. That kind of frees me.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Yes, yes. Your book Cocoon has also helped me so much feel more courageous. And that's really what got me to start teatime.beauty as a YouTube channel when I did
Oh.
2 months ago, because there was a friend that I had who was really struggling with depression. And I went directly, got your book because something in me said there's so many affirmations in Marissa's
Mm-hmm.
book that would really resonate with a lot of the stories she was telling me that she was struggling with emotionally. I ended
Yeah.
up reading the whole book to her just through a voice note. And the voice
Wow.
notes were only probably like 10 minutes or something. And I was like, you know what? If I was willing to do that for one friend, why not
Yeah.
make a YouTube channel of people being able to listen to just me read stories? Because sometimes your mind feels kind of like a scary place when you're
Yeah.
stuck.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me so happy. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And I know that that was one of your goals in the garden was reading stories. And I'm so glad that we get to see it coming up on your YouTube channel. I'm excited. I'm so excited for you. Um,
Yay! Thank you
yeah.
so much. This is
You're
definitely a
welcome.
dream of mine to be able to use my creativity and my intellectual skills and combine them. That's also where a series I'm starting on my channel, Research Edition. There are so many people, especially me, wanting to learn more about my heritage, my culture,
Mhm.
and a lot of the miseducation that's been done in our academia, and even with books being banned and
Yes,
certain children just the attention span decreasing, and it's literally trending that kids can't read. Like, there is so much more context,
that's true.
and until we get into the details of why these things are like this, and even the truth behind what's really going on, and how can
Mhm.
we further support and be involved, no matter your age, no matter where you live, no matter if you're a parent or not. What is research? Because to say just go do your research, go do your research, this is happening, let's just blame it on them. It's like, as a
Right.
community, as a collective, what have we been doing to increase the access to information that we know certain people in our community hold? Our elders know,
Mm.
certain
Yes.
of us know, but
Hmm.
are we there to listen? Are we asking? Do we know what to ask? So that's what Research Edition is about. I'm working on that.
Yay! I'm excited. I'm excited. Yes, and please
Yes.
be sure to subscribe to Danny's channel, y'all. I'm gonna post it again in the chat. That's so exciting. I'm excited to see everything that you got coming. Like, yes.
Yay! Yes, and lots
Yeah.
of dancing and just like singing, just things where I want to show people you can be able to, because sometimes in research, the things we're reading is hard. Like,
Hmm.
it's re-traumatizing sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
it's difficult to understand and process, and it brings up stuff in the body. So that
Hmm.
balance, back to the 8 dimensions of wellness, as a daily, weekly practice of checking in, or as a guide, as a tool of how to check in with the layers of yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Yay! Thank
Yes. People are
you.
subscribing. Yes. Subscribing.
Yay!
Hey. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
I'm
Thank
excited. And the
you.
educator says, yet Danny is preaching tonight. This young lady's on fire. Agreed.
Yay.
Agreed.
I'm so happy. I think my grandpa is watching, and he is 64. And for ever
Oh.
since you invited me on your channel, I told him right away. And he is so excited. He's like been encouraging me this whole time. And it is just a very big deal that I am a guest star on your show,
Oh.
because I do not share that I have my master's in social work. I notice
Oh,
that
yeah.
people treat me different when they find out that I have my master's, and I did achieve my master's at the age of 22. And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who are just say whatever they want to say, their opinions, but at the end of the day, I have learned, you know what, I don't really need to tell you what I've achieved, because I
Yeah.
need it to show in my actions. That's the only thing
Mm.
that's important. And if this is an environment that is truly able to receive what I have to offer, I shouldn't have to go out of my way to explain accolades.
Yeah. That's true. And thank you. Thank you. Because that's something I've been thinking about too. I'm like, these letters. These letters feel confining sometimes. And like you said, it gives you a certain
Sometimes.
level of like clout. It's like that I should just be able
Hmm.
to have based on what I share
That's
before
right.
before you see the letters. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
I didn't think about that
Yes.
too. Yeah.
But hey, it's always good to brag too. Like, I have my MSW, and we got it during the pandemic. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Virtual too. Yes, I
Yes. Ooh, that
did.
last semester was hard. Doing social work virtually, it's like all of my practicum sites were shut down. Everything was shut down. It's like that last semester was very difficult. Very difficult.
Yes. Talk
Yes.
about the power in adaptation. That's what setting an
Yeah.
intention can help you set you up for, being adaptable.
That is so
Hmm.
true. That is so true. Yes. And I see educator subscribe. Yes.
Yay!
And Ashley, hello. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Cocoon
Yes,
is
it
an
is.
incredible contribution to the body of healing work. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. And Cocoon is my book of affirmations that Danny mentioned. So, yes, yes. Self promotion is always awkward for me, but
Yes, go ahead and get your book. I will always go ahead and get that book, Cocoon. It's on Amazon. Go ahead, Marissa
Yes.
Price. It has a beautiful
Yeah.
pale pink cover. It's got a butterfly on it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did want to ask you tips on celebrating, right? Because celebrating is important. Celebrating milestones and wins throughout the year, no matter how small, along the way, so we can kind of get that momentum going to keep going towards our goals or keep staying aligned with our intentions. If you have any tips for how we celebrate ourselves.
Yes, yes. So Tea Time Beauty is really a lot about celebrating just existence, right? Just celebrating joy, celebrating the fact that you're alive and you matter, celebrating other people who are showing up for themselves and showing up for others, and maybe want or need to be seen more. I have a gift in, you know how sometimes when you're in a group and everyone's conversing and someone kind of starts to say something, but then someone else kind of like speaks a little louder, or something, and then they kind of just, oh, I'll keep it to myself. I'm the person
Yes.
that'll say, oh, you had something to say. And so I think that's like a part of celebration. Like, I see you, I hear you, I'm here for you, I'm willing to hold space for you. All of that is celebration. In When I graduated, I didn't walk across any stage. And even that little virtual thing that they were doing over the pandemic for graduations, I
Yeah.
think maybe for my bachelor's, I put a photo and a quote, but for my master's, I walked around my campus with my best friend and her daughter. And I took pictures in my gown and my cap, and I called it a day and had
Oh,
dinner
wow.
with my loved ones. And it was difficult. And also, after that time, whenever I would visit different family members or friends, we would have our own little mini celebrations. Just, you know what, Dani, we know that you did this great thing, and we're so proud of you. And so I
Yeah.
allowed other people to celebrate me out of the traditional. I walked across the stage, and people came from all over and came to visit me. So yeah, I would say that
Mm.
celebration can look different, right? So I know no matter how small, celebrating yourself can be, and I have a list of things I wrote down. It can look like going somewhere fun, cooking, or buying something, or making, or baking, or creating.
Yeah.
Cheer, dance, sing, getting dressed up, celebrating yourself, just filling yourself up with joy from any progress you've made, and
Mm.
reflecting on benefits of the milestone you've achieved. You
Mhm.
can share your testimony with caring other individuals, and you can write it down in a special journal. And even some of the things that I've noticed that I receive after I've celebrated myself, I have more physical strength, I have more overall endurance, I have more self-acceptance of myself, I have more emotional resilience, I have more hopefulness, and I have more forgiveness of myself when I make it a habit and a practice to celebrate myself, no matter where on the progress spectrum I'm at.
Right. Ooh, I love that. Self forgiveness, right? Self compassion, celebrating yourself along the
Mhm.
way. Sometimes we can forget how far we've come till we look back like, oh my gosh, I'm nowhere near where I was, right? I'm in a whole different place. And the fact that you're able to celebrate along the way gives you that momentum like, no, I can do it. I can do it. And I'm great. Yes.
Yes, yes, we need that. We work so hard, and especially with what we started the conversation off with, some people really do want to treat us like machines. And in
Mm-hmm.
this capitalistic society, we all need to
Yes.
pay this really expensive rent or mortgage or whatever your upkeep
Yes.
cost
Mm-hmm.
is. It's a lot. And so you're juggling a lot
Housing.
of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes.
And even that
Um,
might be a celebration, being honest with yourself about that. I'm juggling a lot right now.
mm, just that, like, you're living. Life is a lot. And like you said, life is expensive. Under a capitalist system, like having to
Mhm,
pay for basic necessities that we should just
mhm.
be afforded by virtue of being alive, it's like celebrate yourself for doing that, because that's a lot.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah. I did want to shout out Enough by Emmett T. Hey, Marissa.
Yay,
Yeah.
Marissa. Hi, friend. Another
Yes.
girly from the garden.
Yes. Another one from the garden. Yes. Which is Alicia Renice's community of Black women rediscovering their creativity. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yay.
yeah, let me see here. Yes. Amazon trying to censor us, but we're going to keep supporting. Yes. Thank you. Yes. The Dark Knight tried to put a review for my book, and Amazon took it down because I think it had the word decolonization in it or something. So, yes, censorship
Wow.
is real. Yes, we're in that era.
Wow. Good
So,
to
yes.
know. Good to know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay. We're going to build our own. It's okay.
That's true.
It's
That's
okay.
true. Hey, yes. And
Yay.
Ashley says, "Welcome to the club, Danny. Rare air being interviewed." Oh wow, the Marissa show. Thank you,
We're
thank
gonna
you.
call we need to make you a theme song for Marissa Price. You know the Amanda Bynes, but it's gonna be Marissa Price show.
Oh my gosh, that's taking me back. That's taking me back. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I guess I'm going to talk about inspiration as we're winding down. If you'd like to share just some of the people who have inspired you on your own journey of growth and transformation, as we kind of enter 2024 and look for those people to inspire us, to keep us going.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, I will start off with saying that you are one of the first that I want to share that have inspired me. Because of the space you're sharing with me on your channel, I am going to read a quote from your article on from your Full Transparency blog. And
Danny.
yes, I'm gonna do it if that's okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a
Yeah.
beautiful quote, and I resonated with it so much. And so it's I have hope that as I continue to heal, more of the passions I buried will be unearthed, because the truth is they have been nudging me to revisit them for some time now.
Thank you.
Yes, you are so inspiring. So whatever information is waiting you in your journal that you will one day read back on,
Yeah.
there's a perfect time for you to revisit it.
Ooh.
There's a perfect project for you to use it for, and there is a perfect audience waiting for it at the right time that you were ready to share it.
Right. Right. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Right on time. Right on time. Because this day has been rough. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes. And even before our chat, I've just been praying and just meditating on how fantastic it has been to know about your mission and to be a part of your community on Mighty and also here on YouTube, and also to
Mhm.
have a copy of your book, your first book. All of that is I'm a
Thank you.
witness, and that is something that I don't take lightly, because
Mm.
as an MSW, and we're both young and we're both in this
Yeah.
age of getting a degree for social work. My aunt, who's in her 60s, told me when I first started college, why are you getting a degree in social work? Like, you used to not need
Mm.
a degree in that.
Hmm.
And so
Ah.
we are the evidence of taking this thing that you used to not have a degree, need a degree in. We are the evidence of, well, when you do get a degree in it, this is what we do with it. Because everyone says
Mm.
social work is so versatile and you can do all these different things with it. Well, we're gonna do what our mission is, right? And we can do that with social work, but it's not
Hmm.
easy to be a social worker and do all the different things. It is a lot to change your profession. In other professions where it's more
Hmm.
specialized, you know you're in your niche.
Right.
In
That's true.
social work, it's like you have to reinforce belief in yourself pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Each time you
Yeah.
go from the child welfare system to
Okay. I thought it was just me.
therapy
I
to
have
the
been struggling with that.
hospital to children to adults to special needs to advocacy to
Yeah.
finance, like they are completely
Mm-hmm.
different wheelhouses. We just know that
True.
we have enough skills to learn some new things and take what we've learned with us.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That is so true. Yeah. And I have been struggling with that. I have a workshop coming up with Angela Kanu
Yes.
from Exodus Summit, who I did a panel with. But we're going to be talking about healing from childhood attachment wounds. And I'll
I
link
will
that in
be
the
there.
chat. Yeah, yeah. But I've been struggling with that, right? Because my social work focus was economic development. So I actually worked in banking, trying to get money to communities. Didn't go well
Mhm.
because a lot of the things, the brick walls that were put up,
Mhm.
and me being brought in to do something and then doing it and then being met with a lot of backlash from doing
Yes.
my job. But that's a whole other
Yep.
story. But
Yes. Mhm.
yeah, I've been
Mhm.
I've been struggling with like going between the different areas because, like you said, it's a whole different thing. Going from child welfare to economic development, and you can both be social workers. Like
Mhm.
that's kind of an interesting quirk of the social work field. So yeah, yeah,
Yes, and then bringing in childhood trauma to it, that or adverse childhood experiences, going from a complete different thing to a complete different thing. We don't like that. We like familiarity.
yeah.
Even if it's
Mm-hmm.
not working for us, we
Right.
want familiarity. And so to be
Yes.
able to heal yourself enough to be aware enough of yourself and your environment to notice those changes you want and desire and then act on them. Set your
Mm-hmm.
intention, set that foundation,
Said it.
set that road, look out for
Mm-hmm.
those potholes, look out
Yeah.
for those brick walls. Okay?
Yes. Ooh. Yes. Those
And
brick
then
walls will
set
pop
those
up.
goals accordingly. Yep, set those goals accordingly from there on. And if you get tripped up, hey, it's okay because your intention said, I'm going to keep moving forward regardless of what shows up.
Yeah.
I'm worthy of that much.
Ooh. I'm gonna keep going forward no matter what shows up. Is that
Yep,
is it?
I'm going to
Oh my
keep going
God.
forward no matter. Here we go. What did I say? I'm going to keep going forward no matter what. I deserve that much.
I deserve that much.
If
Wow.
no one else is going to be my cheerleader, I'm going to be my cheerleader. I know my
Ooh.
story more than anyone else is going to know my story. I'm going to tell my story better than anyone else is able to tell my story, right? So throughout the year, check up on yourself, your development. How have I grown? How have I shown up for myself? How many times did I celebrate myself? You know what? How many days did I wake up and say, I love myself today?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How many days did I wake up and say, my heart is beating today and I'm breathing today and that's enough? That's celebrating yourself too. It is.
It is. It is. And that's enough. That's enough. Yeah. Doesn't matter what you accomplished that day if you didn't accomplish anything, if you laid in bed all day. That's fine. Celebrate yourself because you're here. You're breathing. You woke up. That's a
Yes.
gift. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. And yes. Sonnet 641. Hey, Sonnet 641. Yes. In the garden
Hi.
as well, I think. Yes. Agreed. Dating has a
Yay.
gift. Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Yes. But yes, as we're wrapping up, I would love to know any offerings that you have, and how people can continue to follow your journey online.
Yes. So I would like to share teatime.beauty is my YouTube channel. I do have an email, admin@teatime.beauty. If you'd like to connect with me, I am building my channel. So if there are more collaborations or even communities that are accepting more community where we can have conversations like these and even research together. I would really love opportunities where I can learn and gain more research skills in community, because again, researching these things are hard. And I have
Yes.
been researching more about my heritage, our culture, and even just the miseducation that's been going on in this country towards our people. Our family members know, especially our older ones, they know. And there have been, and my grandpa has been telling me this, shout out to him, there are
Mhm.
certain generations that didn't want to know. And so
Yeah.
if generations like ours, if we want to know, we can go to them and ask. And so I'm on a mission to find those who know and let them know there's people like us that want to know.
Yeah.
If you know what I
Ooh,
mean?
yes. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Archiving, preserving people's stories is key.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that just, yes, that is so
Yes.
important.
Right? Because
Yes.
we know as we're researching certain things, especially in school, African American this, slavery that, and it doesn't
Mhm.
sometimes go further than that. And that is so heartbreaking, because I know good and well we didn't get this far, and I don't have this amazingly creative, unique spirit that I have and that you have, because we
Mhm.
came from, that, and there
That's
was nothing before that, and that really was all it was. Like, no, there's more to the story, and I really don't need to keep begging the people who told me the lie to tell me the truth. Let me go
ooh,
ahead to the people who lived it and have a direct benefit from me knowing this.
yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. I don't need to keep going to the people who told me the lie to tell me the truth, Dani.
That's like going to the people who built the
Mic
brick
drop.
wall and
Yes.
put up the wallpaper and telling them, "Can you please help me knock down the wall, please? I don't really like the wall there." And they're like, "Yeah, we'll help you. Just wait 7 to 10 business days." And they're over there building more wall in the seven
Yep.
to ten business days.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Oh my gosh. Woo. And then trying to convince us that there's no wall and that it's our
Hold
fault
on.
that we're not moving forward. It's like, no, y'all keep building the wall. Stop. Like,
Yep.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
Ooh, that's
Yes.
powerful. I'm so excited to see everything that you create on your channel going forward. And the research, that's something that I haven't seen yet. That's kind of like a new, like, creative idea. I'm like intrigued by that. The research aspect.
Yay. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad that if this is something people are interested in, I will continue to do this, because, again, it is emotionally dense to go through
Yeah.
this. And I understand people who are going through a whole life. Remember the 8 dimensions of wellness. Like, you have all these layers of your life, and in this capitalistic society that you have
Right.
going on, especially if you have a family, especially anyone who has any chronic conditions, anyone who
Yeah.
needs a lot of resources to get through their day to day. I hear you. And you still deserve access to this information. And it doesn't always have to be through going through all of the articles and and dissecting what this even means. Like, I'm willing to
Hmm.
do it. I
Yeah.
want to do it. And so if I
Hmm.
have a community supporting me, we can go that much further.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited. I love research. I love
Yeah.
research. Got my little nerd heart beating over here. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for allowing me your platform to share this. I am so
Yeah.
happy. This is literally the cherry on top for my 2023. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Yes, I'm gonna share this comment from the educator. I'm doing this right now, documenting my family stories. My grandma didn't lie. She knows my heritage. Ooh, that is key. Preserving stories for future generations. Mm, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think like
Thank you.
in graduate school, yeah. And having had the opportunity to be in like indigenous communities in graduate school,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and they're focused on 7 generations often. So it's like you do stuff thinking, how is this going to affect 7 generations in the future? And also
Mm-hmm.
preserving history for future generations.
Yeah.
So that had a profound impact on me. And
Mm-hmm.
just being able to kind of dedicate time to researching the history, like indigenous African history, right? Because that's often overlooked. So yeah, that's
Yes.
key. That's key.
Yes. Yes, and it is a very dangerous place for someone who doesn't know themselves to just accept who they are, accept that the details of who they are from external sources.
Mm-hmm.
Like, find out who you are within you. Even the stories family members tell, even the stories we research, even the stories other people who are the professionals and experts in doing the type of research, check in with yourself. Still, always, every time. Check in
Mm-hmm.
with yourself. Is this ringing true for you? Is this something that you want to carry on? And also take ego out of it. Still check in with yourself and see, am I able to handle this or not? But, make sure, and this is something I'm trying to do. If I need a break because this information has been overwhelming to my nervous system, that's one thing.
Yeah.
If this is a lot because this feels like too much of a lie, and if I read more of it, I'm getting more confusion than clarity, take a break and also go in another route.
Right.
But
Right.
none of that needs to be grounds to stop. And that's where my intention comes in. I intend to find the truth. If it becomes hard, I'll take a break. If it becomes hard, that's when the preparation comes in, and that's where setting goals comes in. When this happens, when I feel procrastination happen, when I go into doing research, and this is what's kind of been happening, being honest.
Yeah.
When I go into, okay, I want to research this thing from the 1970s in Chicago and what was going on in this population. Well, it's really hard to read some things. And so when I know that going in, sometimes my feelings, my emotions, they come
Right.
up. My heart starts beating a little bit faster and start
Yes.
getting a little clammy. Like, I remember
Mm-hmm.
last time I started reading about right? But then I go to a video like yours, or I go to a video like Dr. Kamani's, and I remember all over again. No, this is why. Because in order to build something for ourselves, we have to know the stories of the people who allowed us to be here today. And in that case, because they went through it and I'm currently not in the way they did, this is how I
Yes.
honor them. So what do I
Yes.
need to do for myself
Mm-hmm.
to get it done?
That's key. That's key. Yeah. Ooh. And I feel like just our age range, our generation gets a lot of flack. And it's like, no, we're still focused on this. This is still important to us,
Mm-hmm.
right? Preserving history for future generations.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just see the power that exists in that. Like people in our age group asking our elders, preserving their stories, preserving their histories for future generations to come.
Yes.
Powerful.
Yes.
Powerful.
Especially if they survived 2019 through 2023. Like, please go ahead and get those stories while you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Wow, what a wholesome way to end this, like wrap up this
I
conversation. Like, talk
know.
about Sankofa, Marissa. I'm telling you, your channel is Sankofa.
Wow. Wow. That feels like a divine message, Dani. It really does. Because I haven't heard that term in so long. And that's kind of bringing me back. Wow. Sankofa. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Ooh. But yes, I want to thank you so much. The Dark Knight says, yes, as millennials, we got a lot to carry on. Yes. 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 Absolutely. I want to thank you so much for being here, for sharing everything, all the gems that you dropped. I got to go back and pick them up because
Yes. Walk that road.
yes, it was amazing. It was amazing. I just want to thank you for being here. And please subscribe to Dani's channel, y'all, Tea Time Beauty. But yeah, Daniela Elevate says, really enjoy this live. Yay! Have a lovely night. You too. You too. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone who's in the chat, contributing all your knowledge. Because this is a community, right? A community of knowledge sharing and learning. So I love it. I love it. Yes, yes. As we're wrapping up, I just want to thank y'all so much and thank Dani again and say until next time, y'all.
Yes. Enjoy your
Thank
new
you.
year. See
Yes. Happy New
you.
Year. I totally forgot to say that. Yes. Happy New Year. Happy 2024, y'all. Y'all. Good night.
Bye. Yay.